Welcome to the new setup. I realized that there's too many things going on outside my room. It is an Asian household. I don't even know if you can hear that. There's literally a microwave going off right now. In continuing with our consistency of videos, I wanted to make a video today about what did I make? I want to make a video. Alright, the lessons I learned working in an architecture firm. So I've been in an architecture firm for 3.5 years now. And if you want to quickly just get the 3 things that I learned, if you don't want to watch the video, here's the 3 things I learned really quickly. So 1 is don't be afraid to ask. Number 2 is communication and time management. And number 3, detail is everything. And so if you want to keep watching, thank you for watching, and I'll just break down all those points as to why those are the biggest lessons that I learned. Hopefully this gives you some value. If you're new to this channel, my name's David. I've been studying architecture for the last 5 or so years. I graduated in 2020 during COVID for my bachelor's of architecture, and then 2021 I got a job in an architecture firm, and I've been working there ever since. But I've also worked in firms prior to that, just part-time, and I also did an internship while I was in university. Here's some of the lessons that I learned working in an architecture firm. So don't be afraid to ask. I came into the firm with little to no experience. I only had an advantage because I interned during my university years. When you go into an architecture firm or any new corporate industry or any corporate field, you're so willing to want to prove to yourself that they didn't do a bad hire, right? So you want to prove yourself so badly to everyone that you belong there, and it's kind of that idea of like imposter syndrome. And so when you go in, when I went in personally, I just like tried to learn everything by myself, and in all honesty, that is possibly the worst thing you could possibly do. Like, in order to accelerate your career, you need to actually ask. The fastest way to get to their standard of work is you need to ask as much as you possibly can. You have to ask with knowledge, not just ask because you don't want to figure it out for yourself, but in the sense that ask when you've tried as much as you can. You come into that company, you come into that firm, and they'll understand that you won't know everything, you won't know it all. So it's really, they'll know that you're gonna need to ask for certain things, you know. Especially me, I came in from an AutoCAD Revit background, and this firm, we are doing ArchiCAD. It was such a steep learning curve. Like, Revit to ArchiCAD is so hard. I don't know if any of you guys know, but Revit and ArchiCAD are probably one of the more larger programs that all architects draw on, and it is so different from one the other. And in my opinion, it's actually easier to go from ArchiCAD to Revit, but I went from Revit to ArchiCAD, and it was really hard. There were even times like I was willing to just be like, I'm done with this. I don't want to learn ArchiCAD anymore. It's so stupid. You have to ask. You have to learn how to ask. And you gotta understand that they'll know that you don't know everything, and in all honesty, they'll think of you more as like smarter in a sense. I don't know if that's the right way to phrase that, but the idea is that if they know that you're asking things and double checking things, clarifying things, rather than just going ahead by yourself and just assuming things, that is probably the worst way you can work as an architect. Because once you start assuming things and you have no ultimate clarification on what you're doing and what you're drawing, what you're researching, what you're inputting, then that allows mistakes. When there's mistakes, it has to be dealt over with again, and people or your seniors or the ones that are looking after your projects, they're gonna have to look over your work twice And that just doubles up everyone's work, rather than if you're from the beginning, and yes, it's gonna take time, and yes, it's gonna be slow, and yes, you're gonna be irritable to everyone because you're asking all this and that. But the fact that you're gonna be asking and what you're doing is 100% sure, then for them it's more clear that they're not going to need to go over your work because you've asked so many times and they know that you're clear on that subject. So this is a quote. I don't know where this is from, but this guy said, "Remember, the smartest people aren't the ones who know everything. They're the ones who know when they don't know something and aren't afraid to ask for help. It's better to ask a question early on that than to make a mistake that could have been avoided." Anyways, yeah, that's it. As architects, every minute is so important. Or working in an architecture firm, every minute is actually really vital, because you could be using that time to be solving something else rather than this little problem. That leads me to my second point, which is communication and time management. This is like another one that's really, really vital, because it kind of relates similarly to the first point, where don't be afraid to ask, but then also be sure to communicate to your team everything that you're doing. Obviously, not every single thing, but when you're working in a team and not working on projects by yourself, and this is what I learned in the firm that I'm in now, is you're working together as a team. So there's so many parts that everyone is doing that you'd want to work as efficiently as possible. So it's really important to be as precise on what each person is kind of working on. You can't just be assuming that I'm going to just do this, that person's going to do that, okay, whatever. It's really important to have as much information as a team as important. And that's why I really hate the idea of working from home as well, because Microsoft Teams, it adds like this whole other barrier to trying to figure out information, rather than just going over to someone's desk and just being like, oh hey, what's this, why did we draw it like this, why is there a window here, why did we choose this material. We now have to, oh my gosh, is this guy online? Oh my gosh, he's not online. Wait, can we call at this time? Okay, here we go, ring ring. Oh, my mic's not working. Oh, my webcam, can you see my screen? Am I sharing my screen? Like literally all these problems just to figure out communication, and that adds on to the time that could have been used for something else. So that's part of the communication and time management, because that adds to the time management as well. It's so important that every minute is really vital, that what you do is put towards the project, it's put towards problem solving, rather than just pointless like little tasks. Every minute really, really counts if you want to be as efficient as possible as an architect. And probably the last point that I learned from working in an architecture firm is detail is everything. This one is super, super important. And it kind of brings in everything together, like don't forget to ask, and then communication, time management, and now detail is everything. Because as architects, not only in our drawings that we should be super, super precise, or that we should know what we're doing back and forth in terms of, like, if I chose this certain material, I chose it because it has this certain fire rating, or it has this insulation rating. But yeah, like when you're so detailed as an architect, or when you know exactly what you need to do or why you've chosen it, that's when you can really propel yourself as an architect. And that's where I see the best architects are. If an architect is like, their baseline to learn is this, like the best architects, they're learning like above and beyond that. Like, for example, like you understand how a certain construction detail, it needs to be waterproofed, right? Let's say a roof going into a box gutter, how does that like construction detail look? The best architects, from what I would see, they would know multiple ways to achieve this certain construction detail, whereas the mid or the more just general architects, they're just trying to achieve the bare minimum. just to get the project over the line. The best architects, in that small detail, that's what they really focus on, and that's what propels them above everyone else, because it comes back to that idea that when they've focused and they understand that one small thing 100%, then when they move on to another bit of the project, they don't need to go back to that first bit. I don't know if I'm making sense, but that's how I kind of perceive it. But detail is everything, like, just even like line weights, choosing the right colors, choosing the right pen lines, making your like pages look really clean. I know that we just want to get the drawings out to consultants, we just want to get the drawings out to the clients, but all the small things is what will propel you above just what the normal is. It's what will make you stand out, in my opinion. That's what I've learned in the 3.5 years I've been in an architecture firm. There's literally levels to this. It's so much more harder than what you come out of university for, and I'll probably talk about that in another video. But I hope you guys learned something, and I hope this video wasn't too long. I'll probably cut it up as much as I can. And yeah, it's just the whole, like, obviously I'm transitioning into construction management now, so I want to get as much information out as I possibly can, what I learned from the architecture field, and even like my old stuff, man. Like, literally, I have my portfolio here. Give me a second. I don't know if you guys are willing to have me go through this. Maybe I'll go through this at one point, but man, this gives me like PTSD, because this was like one of the hardest times of my life. Like, architecture is not a no joke course, it's a no joke like job. But anyways, thank you for watching. I hope you guys got something from this, and I just want to give as much advice as I can to those that are possibly pursuing architecture or just are curious about it. And in all honesty, from how I've seen it, there's so many things that you can use architecture that you can apply to everything in life. Like, it is such a great field, it's such a great course, just not for me. It's such a great course. But anyways, hope you enjoy it, guys. Stay tuned for more videos. I think I really like this setup. It's really simple. It looks ghetto as I don't want to show you. My room's too messy. That's why I'm in more this corner side. And yeah, keep staying tuned. I'll put out more videos hopefully. And yeah, thanks for watching.